Welcome to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Louisiana, I want to say Louisiana Football Magazine. We own Louisiana Football Magazine, but you listen to Sports Scouting Report with Lee Brecheen, and we have a great guest, a great young man, a recruit, a class of 221 from a high school that a lot of people don't really realize exists in Louisiana unless you're from Lake Charles or you're from Jennings or maybe Elton. You know, when you get toward Lake Charles, Grand Lake High School, which is in Cameron Parish. We have one of their best players, if not their most talented player on the football team, maybe even baseball team, Eli Fountain. Eli, thanks for joining us.
Hello, thanks for having me.
I talked to you the other day, Eli. You were at Barbe High School in Lake Charles, and you transferred to Grand Lake, but you're from the area. I mean, you're from the Grand Lake area. Your whole family, you said, is from there, so it was really easy to move back home, huh? Cameron Parish.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what? How do you feel being back home, where everybody's from? You know, I mean, you were at Barbe last year, and now you're at Grand Lake High School.
It feels good. It feels good. It feels like I just reunited back with, you know, old friends and stuff. I actually had a couple of buddies that I went to school with that transferred from South Cameron. Okay. That was at Grand Lake, and everybody I just loved it. And back home.
And Eli, you know, we used to talk about South Cameron High School. You know, they don't have football anymore. You know that. Yeah. And so
that's something.
Yeah. So I mean, we used to promote South Cameron every year, and now a lot of kids, I guess, are going to Grand Lake, huh? That would go to South Cameron.
Yes, sir.
And I want to talk about Grand Lake before I start bragging on you, Eli. But Grand Lake High School is 27 minutes from Lake Charles, which is not that bad. It's really a suburb of Lake Charles. Really small enrollment, 1A school, Class 1A school. And we're going to talk about this, Eli, but y'all usually wear the white and maroon jerseys. Is that correct? One of the two?
Yes, sir. And we have a few more new jerseys coming in.
Okay. And y'all are the Hornets, man. The Hornets.
Yes, sir.
In Cameron Parish. The team only dresses 20 to 30 players. Might be in the middle, maybe 25 when the season starts. Only 3 full-time football coaches. The head coach, Jeff Wainwright, used to be the head coach at Sulphur High School and many schools, and really good coach. What's it like playing for Jeff Wainwright, Eli, getting to know Jeff since you've moved back home?
It's good. He's a really nice coach, and I liked him. He's trying to help me back with my quarterback. He's good at being a quarterback coach.
Yeah, and look,
it's all about winning.
Yeah, and Eli, let's talk about Eli. Eli Fountain, we're talking to from Grand Lake High School. We'll play quarterback for his team this year. We'll play a little safety. We'll probably play special teams. He's 6'4", 207 pounds, and Eli, you run a 4.5 40. I think you're one of the biggest sleepers in the Lake Charles area myself. I think you're that diamond in the rough that nobody really knows about until this coming season, and you have a chance to prove to a lot of people your senior year that you can play D1 ball, right?
Yes, sir.
What do you want to prove to everybody? Because you really haven't played a lot of varsity because you have to sit out coming from Barbe High School. But what's your goal for your senior year?
My goal for my senior year is to come in, make a mark, and most definitely win the championship for Grand Lake Cameron Parish.
You play baseball too, and I don't want to leave the baseball out because, man, you told me you can throw a fastball 89 miles an hour as a lefty, and that's pretty good as a lefty.
Yes, sir.
You going to work on you think you can hit 90 before it's over?
Yes, sir. I'm in the making that work.
What do you like about baseball, Eli?
I like it just comes natural to me. It's just a natural, fun, and just, you know what I mean? I just can have fun with it.
And
I grew up watching it.
And you also play other positions. Tell everybody the other positions you play in baseball besides pitcher.
I play outfield. I play first base. And
hey man,
that's it because I'm limited.
I'll tell you what though, a 6'4" kid at first, that's a big time prospect for baseball. And if you don't go as a pitcher, but a lefty throwing 89 is good. Usually, if you throw 86 or higher, you're a D1 guy in baseball. Eli, you told me baseball and football are even to you. You don't really care for one over the other right now. Is that right?
I'm also a basketball player. I play basketball for Grand Lake too.
Okay. What is your strength? What's your strength in basketball? Is it points per game, rebounds, steals, block shots? What would be your strength right now?
I would like to say my strength would be like running back. I mean, I would say like it's like rebounding for right now. I'm trying to get back in the groove for it. I had surgery on my shoulder this past year, so like I'm just easing my way in, and that's the way I fit in this past year for my team. Okay. Being a good
I'll take it. You gonna play center, or you gonna play forward for Grand Lake?
I'm be the point guard next year.
Oh, okay. Well, y'all got some height down low, or they got some guys taller than you playing forward and center?
A little bit.
So you're the tall guy at point guard, right, on the team, basically?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's why you got to rebound a lot, right? You got to help out with your height.
Yes, sir.
We're listening to Eli Fountain from Grand Lake High School, one of the top recruits for class of 221 that nobody knows about outside of Lake Charles. And maybe a lot of people in Lake Charles because he hasn't played a lot. He had surgery last year, didn't play last year. At Barbe, you kind of have to wait your turn, right, Eli? I mean, not many freshmen play at Barbe, right?
Yes, sir.
What do you like about coming back home and being a part of Grand Lake, being a part of a smaller school?
You can have more. It's more like I don't know how to explain it. You could get to know people more, and you could see. You know what I mean? It's smaller, and I just feel like it helped me stay focused, focus on my craft and just what I'm doing. And I got good coaches behind me, and I just feel it's a good fit for me.
You're listening to Eli Fountain. I have you as an athlete, Eli, because that's a compliment to you, meaning you can be recruited at different positions for football. I know you're playing quarterback for your school, but you could be a linebacker in college. You could be a receiver. You could be a quarterback. You could be a free safety. I mean, you could play a number of positions. I mean, you could probably get up to 220 pounds and still be pretty lean, right, in college.
Yes, sir.
You run a 4.5 in the 40, which is impressive for a guy 207 pounds, 6'4". And I want to talk about the schedule in 220. Y'all play some good teams. I mean, 1A, Class 1A, I mean, there's a lot of good football teams in the state. And in the district, I mean, y'all got to play Basile, which is good, Oberlin, which has got a very good team, Ville Platte's very good, Hamilton Christian out of Lake Charles is very good, Elton is very strong, and Highland Baptist, man. What do you think of these opponents? Have you ever played any of these guys prior to coming back home? I know you were at Barbe for a while.
No, I didn't get to play them, but during basketball season, I was on their huddle. So football, I watched some of their games and watched some of the teams and opponents. And it's really, I just feel it's on us on how we come into the game. I feel as if my team, I'm very confident in my team, and it's just on us, and we just got to work and get to where we need to be. And if we're there, I feel as if we got a good chance, a very good chance.
I want to mention to everybody, too, we're listening to Eli Fountain from Grand Lake High School, was at Barbe High School, quarterback, athlete, 6'4", 207 pounds, runs a 4.5 40, also a baseball and a basketball player. Grand Lake's not an old school for football. I mean, I don't think they've had football even 10 years, right, Eli? I mean, that's
not right.
I mean, I want to say 8 years or 7 years they've had football for LHSA. And it's not really an old school as far as the sports programs. And this might be the year, huh? This might be the year that y'all can really make some noise if y'all can somehow win district and get a good seed. What do you need to work on as a quarterback to lead Grand Lake, being the guy under center? What do you think you need? Do you need to work on your passing game or your running game? What do you think you need to work on?
I feel like I need to work on. I can work on everything, but I really do feel like I need to be the best leader I can.
That's good, man. That college coaches love hearing that. Your GPA is a 3.0. You're a good student. I know you're going to get your ACT test done before the season probably starts. With this coronavirus, I know that kind of pushed a lot of kids back on getting that attempt that y'all would have had in the spring. But any final words about the Hornets, man? The Grand Lake Hornets. Any shout out to any family or coaches or anybody?
I just want to shout out the community. Thank y'all for supporting me from day one. I want to shout out to all the coaches for keeping me on, making me keep focusing, and just all the support and love that they give to me, and just the team and how they travel with us, and no matter what, they're always there. Just positive vibes.
Eli, any message to the fans about filling those stands up? I'm sure everybody in the town goes to the game, right?
Yes, sir. Everybody.
You could probably go anywhere and get quick service at a fast food restaurant during the game. There's nobody there, huh? But the people working there. But, how many fans do you think y'all get a game? I mean, do you know how big the community is as far as population? It's not that big, huh?
It's not that big, but I can say we'll sell out all our basketball games.
Man. And what do y'all hold, about 1,000 in the gym, I guess?
I don't want to say it might be something like that. I don't want to say it, and it's some probably around there.
That's they love basketball, huh? In the town, big basketball.
Yes, sir. And we did it. Yes, sir.
So if it comes down to basketball, baseball, football, and you get offered by all three sports for college, which one do you think you would lean to the most right now, or would they all be the same?
I want to say it all be the same, but I would try to see, I know several players that are on a two-way, play two sports in college, and if that will work, I'd try to probably pick out of them too. And if it doesn't, I just have to, pick out of either three.
I tell you though, I think you could be a pitcher at a college and a football player because they work together on the scheduling. Basketball, it's tough, man, physically to keep your weight up and then play football. That's the only thing about those two, because you'd have to get down to probably about 190 for basketball, And
Yeah.
Your weight goes down too for basketball because you're 207 now, but I'm sure, with all the running, I played a little basketball in my day, but you could tell everybody, look, basketball's tough, man. Y'all run a lot, and it's full court. That's part of that's the fun, but then you have to run the court before and after practice, right? I mean, that's
yes, sir.
People don't realize that basketball, it's not half court. I mean, when you run in full court, kids make it look easy, right? And you got to be in great shape to do that. But I think they all help one another. Basketball does help football. Baseball, I think, can help football because you learn in different movements. And basketball, your vertical is always going to be better when you play basketball for football. But Eli, look, good luck to you, man. I'm glad that we could get you on the podcast today, all the way from Cameron Parish here at Grand Lake High School. And I think you're one of the top sleepers in the city of Lake Charles, in that metro area of Lake Charles, for the class of 221. And one last question. Who did you grow up liking as a kid? Is there a couple of colleges that you've always liked in any sport?
I grew up watching LSU because I had relatives that went there. And I watched Tyrann Matthew, Odell Beckham. I really did watch a lot of LSU, so a lot of that.
Have you talked to anybody at LSU, or they know you're on the radar at all? I mean, today they will, but have you talked to anybody at LSU?
I talked to a few people.
Okay, and obviously, have you been invited to any LSU games this fall by the staff or anything like that?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir, I haven't.
Okay. And if LSU didn't offer in the end, who would be another school that you like in state? Is McNeese one? Because I know they were, right there by Barbe
Yeah,
High School.
Yeah, honestly, you know what I mean? I'd take anyone, the ones that's the best for me, you know what I mean? But I really accept any school that was showing interest in me because I really accept it. I appreciate that.
Well, college is going to love your answers, man, because they love that you will go anywhere that they give you an opportunity. And look, free education is, like you said, any college that'll give you an offer to go to school on scholarship. And look, 2 sports, right? Hopefully they offer 2 sports out of the 3. But Eli,
Yes,
again, look, thank you for taking the time, and good luck with the rest of school this year. And I know it's football will be played. We'll just see what it looks like. We'll see if we have fans, which hopefully we will. And, good luck to you, man, playing quarterback for Grand Lake High School this year.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's a pleasure for you having me.
Don't hang up yet. I'm going to talk to you, but we're going to be right back. You're listening to the Sports Scouting Report with Lee Brecheen.
Hello, Sports Scouting Report fans. Like what you hear? Well, you're going to love our content at lafootballmagazine.com. This week, check out Recruit Spotlight on Landry Walker quarterback Justin Hudson, who has committed to the Tennessee State Tigers this past week. Also, make sure to check out our podcast and pre-order your North or South Magazine edition for this upcoming season. All that and more on lafootballmagazine.com.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening to the Sports Scouting Report with Lee Brecheen, and we've got a great guest today. We don't get to talk about baseball as much, and I like baseball. I grew up baseball. We've got a football TV show, but on this show, on the podcast, we bring on baseball coaches and players, and we've had actually a starting pitcher from Northwestern State call in about a month ago. We also had a 13-year-old Tyler Hughes. We interviewed his dad from Red River. And now today I'd like to introduce Richard Chalmers, who's the owner of the Cane Cutters, Acadiana Cane Cutters in Lafayette, Louisiana, a summer league team that's he's been owning for 10 years and working really hard and loves baseball. And Richard, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you, Lee. Thanks for having me.
I remember meeting you, Richard, about 4 years ago at an Ascension Episcopal football game, and it was tailgating. I think it was with Joey Arsenault, and in the middle of eating and getting that quick food you can get before the game starts, you came up to me, and I really enjoyed when people come up to you and they say, "Hey, man, I watched the show," and you said, "Look," you said, "You talk about LSU and UL, but how about a little A&M?" I remember that. So.
Well, I know that's not the market you're dealing in, but I was just kind of picking at you.
Oh, I know. But I enjoyed it, and we'll talk about that with the show because we've had a lot of Louisiana players go play for Texas A&M. I know you're an alumnus of A&M, but you're also a proud resident of Lafayette and a big baseball guy. You're the owner of the Acadiana Cane Cutters. And Richard, tell everybody about the Acadiana Cane Cutters, and you've owned the team for 10 years. You talked to me yesterday about how that y'all play 6 games a week, and y'all are in the Texas Collegiate League. And tell everybody the work that goes into this of raising money and just starting this from how did you start it?
Well, Lee, I had an interest in baseball, and minor league baseball has always been a big thing to me. My dad played some pro ball and some military ball, and was from the New Jersey area. So when we go visit his family, we'd stop at the minor league parks going up there. I'm really a big minor league fan more than a major league fan. Just the environments are neat, and you're part of the action almost. So it's kind of wasn't very practical to think that we're going to have a minor league team in South Louisiana. We don't have the stadium and whatnot. So just kind of looking around and started following summer collegiate leagues and came on to the TCL, and the proximity was was good. So we took the leap, bought a franchise, and started the team from scratch. So it's been a lot of work, a lot of fun. Play great brand of baseball. The majority of the kids we get are Louisiana boys. We always get a number of Mississippi kids, Texas kids, usually throw in a couple kids, from California, Colorado, just some of each year I get a few of those, whether they be from Notre Dame or just around.
Yeah.
But the majority of the kids are from the programs here in the state.
We're listening to Richard Chalmers, the owner of the Acadiana Cane Cutters. They play summer league baseball they have mostly D1 players on their roster. Richard, you told me that y'all carry 35, travel 30. You have as many as 16 pitchers this year. And what was it like assembling your team with the virus being around, which is a little bit different for you in the past, trying to get the team together?
It is, but actually, we had most of our team put together before the pandemic hit, and usually as the kids go back to school in August, September, you're past your last season and you're already moving on to the next. And it's really too early to do it, but the problem is the other leagues are doing it that quick, so you don't. If you sit still, you miss out. So I'm very thankful to the coaches across the state for sending us some good quality kids.
What is it like, Richard, working with most of those D1 baseball coaches in state at UL and UNO, LSU, Southeastern? You have a lot of kids from Southeastern on the team and some UNO and sometimes Tulane and Nicholls State. You've got some players every now and then, McNeese. So what is it like working with these guys? I mean, you love baseball, but how does that process work? And I know they have to place their kids somewhere. Some of these kids want to stay close. And like you said the other day, depending on rest and maturity, some of them will stay close and stay home and play for you, and some will go Cape Cod League or, wherever, right?
Yeah, the Northwoods or whatever. We feel like our league is extremely competitive. So I think most of the coaches, of course, are in a dead period now, but most of the coaches that have gotten out in the summer and seen their kids play realize the level that we're playing, and it's been good dealing with them, and we feel like we treat them right. We treat them good. It's not a pay-to-play league. It's a privilege to play, and we have some super, super host families. Couldn't do it without them. That put these kids up and treat them like they're their own, and actually, build long-lasting relationships with these kids. A lot of them are continuing to see them play as they go on, and they're going to their weddings and things like that. So they build good relationships with the kids as well, but they're a big part of what we do.
We're talking to Richard Chalmers, the owner of the Acadiana Cane Cutters Summer League baseball team, affiliated with all the D1 schools, where all the D1 players continue to improve. If it wasn't for Summer League baseball, right, Richard, these kids wouldn't continue to develop, right, for their team.
We feel like it's a big piece of it, and obviously the coaches do. The big part for hitters is reps. You're getting so many more reps than you would otherwise, and it's against a live arm. And then as far as the pitchers go, you can work in that pen all you want, but it's a big difference getting out on that mound in a game and facing a live batter. You can get that little plastic man out that stands in the bullpen. You can get him out every time.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's figure out how to handle it with live action. So I do think it's big development for the kids. And that's what we try to make sure they get what they need. Certain kids will show up. I need to work on this pitch. I need to work on that pitch. And a position guy will do the same. They're thinking about moving me to third. I need some more balls at third, that sort of thing. So it gets them a lot of reps.
Richard, we're going to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We're listening to Richard Chalmers, the owner of the Acadiana Cane Cutters in Lafayette. Summer League baseball for all the D1 players in the state and all over the country. We'll be right back.
Parents, are you looking for advice on getting your high school athlete recruited by the right college? Lee Brecheen is your answer. Lee has been doing it for over 30 years. He knows the ropes, and more importantly, he knows the people. Lee offers turnkey service from evaluation, creating highlight tapes in the correct format, and complete guidelines for effective communication with the schools. No matter the sport, girl or boy, no matter what grade your child is in, let Lee Brecheen help match your child to the right college fit. Go to our website, lafootballmagazine.com, and get connected today.
Welcome back. You're listening to Sports Scouting Report with Lee Brecheen. Today I'm honored to have the owner of the Acadiana Cane Cutters, Richard Chalmers, a great guy who works hard. And when he's not running his company, he owns a summer league team called the Cane Cutters, the Acadiana Cane Cutters, and does a great job. 10 years now. Richard, let's talk about your roster a little bit and give people an idea of how diversified it is with all the the different colleges in Louisiana. You've got a couple of kids from Northwestern State, Tyler Thibodeau and Marshall Skinner. You've got Louisiana Tech, Logan McLeod. You've got Southern University. I know Xavier Moore is a starter for you from Shreveport, Louisiana. You got Billy Garrity from Southern Miss from Hattiesburg. ULM of Monroe, you got Tracy Henry, and you got UNO's Will Villion from Rain. In Nicholls State, Caleb Hill. LSU signee Mitchell Sanford from Berwick, who I watched as a quarterback actually at Ascension Episcopal football, LSU signee. And then Bailey Holstein from Denham Springs at UNO. We can go on and on. Southern Miss from Mobile, Chandler Best. McKeel Hilliard, people know that name, Louisiana State, LSU. From Central, my alma mater, a pitcher. And you also have Reed Vincent, a late roster ad from St. Thomas More. Reed Vincent's been doing well for you lately. And what about your pitchers? And one other one, a big one, Drew McDaniel from Ole Miss, also from Lafayette.
Yes, Drew just was a little bit late getting to us, and he had his first outing this weekend in San Antonio. It was good, but it wasn't what I got to see him throw in high school quite a bit, and it wasn't. I don't think it was to his standards. Put it nicely. I mean, he threw well, but I think he'll throw better as he gets going here. And all of these kids on the mound, obviously, we're starting them slow, letting them build up their pitch count. They've all been on a throwing program, but still. You don't want to go out and overdo it with one of these guys and hurt an arm. So you mentioned a number of schools there, and you missed one that I think is of interest to a lot of people here. A young man, Blake Marshall, coming from Hines, going to UL, lefty that can really he can run it up there. He's really good kid. So we've got a bunch of pitchers. You have to have a bunch of pitchers. You're playing six games a week, and we're not at the point that some guy's going to take you into the seventh inning or anything. Mm-hmm. We're not trying to get there. We're just trying to get them built up right now.
Another local kid from Abbeville, Vermilion Catholic, Ethan Leger. Delgado Junior College, another one on. I mean, I can't mention all 35, but I'm just going through it a little bit. And, Nicholas Judice, Baton Rouge, going to ULM of Monroe. But A lot of LSU fans, a lot of baseball fans would like to know, how is Mikael Hilliard's arm right now, and how healthy is his? I know he's missed a lot of his late sophomore year that was cut short, but he was coming back from an injury. But how is Mikael Hilliard looking so far?
Well, Mikael hadn't been on the mound yet. He is throwing, but hadn't been on the mound. I would think another 5 or 6 days, and he'll be ready to go. Looks good, looks strong. Says he's having no arm issues, so we're excited. We're excited about that. We're anxious to get him back out there.
Richard, who's the most talented player you've seen on your team, D1, that just, regardless of time off, regardless if he's an infielder, catcher, outfielder, pitcher, reliever, who's the most talented player you feel like that y'all have on the team? Is there one guy?
Well, that's, boy, you put me in a spot there, because I named one and I got 34 that's mad at me.
Well, they're all D1, right?
Yeah, but let me tell you one kid that I'm anxious to see that hasn't thrown yet. He'll be active today or tomorrow. Is a kid from UNO, Brandon Mitchell. Okay. Lefty, hadn't thrown yet, but he's he's their 1/2 guy at UNO, and I know that talking to a lot of people, talking to scouts, they've got him. They're real excited about him. So he'll be. He's just finished with his throwing program to get built up, and he'll be coming out today or tomorrow. So I'm excited to see. Now I'm not telling you that he's the absolute best we have, but I'm telling you I'm excited to see him throw.
I got you. And we're listening.
And did I dodge that pretty good, Lee?
Well, it's not a dodge. It's just a question. Hey, look, I know you got a lot of parents. These people have moms and dads, but, hey, they're already D1. So, I mean, it's not like they're trying to get a scholarship. Most of these guys are going back to their school. But we're listening to Richard Chalmers, the owner of the Acadiana Cane Cutters. And Richard, tell everybody, because I'm just excited that y'all were able to play y'all were able to travel to these Texas teams, and in the Texas Collegiate League, a lot of talent. Like you said, y'all play 6 games a week. Tell everybody that's not from Lafayette, this goes all over the state of Louisiana, where do you play, and what are the times usually when y'all play at home?
Well, Lee, we play, our home games are at Fallbacher Fields. We start all of them at 7, try to let it cool down a little bit. And our field is faced in a good direction, so fans are sitting in the shade, and we've got fans blowing on them. So you don't have the excuse that it's summertime and it's too hot, because you usually get a breeze out there as well, and it's pretty comfortable. It's pretty comfortable for the viewer. So we start at 7:00, and like I said, we take Mondays off. Monday is our off day for the league, the whole league. With an even number of teams, we were able to schedule it like that, which is the preferred way to do it. And it's roll it out, get after it. 7:00.
I mean, 6 games a week. That's a lot of games, Richard. People don't realize that. I mean, it's one off day, and I mean, it's nonstop.
Well, it is, and I'll tell you, it's been shortened with the COVID. That's been quite a project to work around, but we're taking all those measures into account. But we backed it up. We usually start at the end of May and play 48 games. But this year we changed. We were at June 30th for our opener, and so it's a lot of games, but it's not what a summer usually consists of.
We're listening to Richard Chalmers, the owner of the Cane Cutters and the Acadiana Cane Cutters in Lafayette. Richard, here's a question I have for you. and I have no idea what the rules are. If this was football, I would probably know this question. But can college coaches see their kids play? Can they come to the stadium? Is that legal?
Normally, yes. In today's COVID, NCAA period, no.
Okay.
Because they've been shut down for getting out, and it's considered a dead period for them. So we usually have a number of coaches in, and this year you're not seeing that because of the NCAA rules, and they're just on a dead period.
There's a friend of mine whose son's on the team, and he's a late add to the roster. He had a pretty good outing for the ball club recently, and Reed Vince from St. Thomas More. What do you think of this kid? He's a new
Reed Vincent. He just joined us. Reed had an exceptional outing in San Antonio. I don't remember the exact stats, but I think he had 4 strikeouts in 2 innings, and looked really good. He's a kid that hadn't really thrown a whole lot, so we're looking forward to seeing how he progresses.
And Reed's at Belhaven, correct? Belhaven College.
He is. That's correct. And to be honest with you, there's good players at Belhaven and D3 schools. It's just kind of a matter you only have so much time to look at these kids, and you kind of stick with the schools that you're used to dealing with, and they kind of stick with you. So Belhaven just isn't hitting on the radar, right, really, as far as recruiting. So actually they called us, and we're excited they did.
Another thing, since you're an alumnus A&M, I've got to ask you this. Name 2, and this is not on the spot. This is a fun question because you're a fan of Texas A&M. You're an alumnus, and they've had a lot of Louisiana players over the years that are from Louisiana. Who would be your second favorite player besides Johnny Hector from New Iberia? Who would be the second Louisiana native that you really enjoyed watching for your Aggies in football?
I'd probably make that a tie between Warren Trahan and Jerry Fontenot.
Okay.
Those 2, Warren went to Acadiana High School. Jerry went to Lafayette High School here. Both were all conference. Warren got his pro career cut short with some broken wrist. Being a defensive lineman, you got to be able to grab. But Jerry had a long NFL career, and both of them are exceptional athletes.
My second favorite is Bucky Richardson.
Well, he was a horse. I gotta tell you, and what a fierce competitor. He was a treat to watch.
The greatest dual threat quarterback to ever come out of Baton Rouge.
Could very well be.
Broadmoor High School. Watched him play probably 2 years worth of games. I had relatives that played against him, and Bucky ran every bit of a 4.5 40. He was about 200 pounds in high school, about 6 foot tall, and played on one of those really good Aggie teams. Billy Cannon Jr.
I was going to mention him as well. He was a horse.
And Ross Brubacher from Lafayette High was another one from Acadiana.
Absolutely.
A lot of Aggie players from Louisiana, and Adam Bobb, Wally Hartley from Broadmoor, Donovan Wilson, Woodlawn of Shreveport, Colton Prater from Airline, and Bossier City was very recent. All those guys I've seen play,
Lloyd LeBeau.
Yeah, and then there's a couple other ones coming up in the DBs for the team. But what do you think of the future of baseball, and is the media making too much out of it because of the season being cut short last year for baseball? But I mean, we're going to be fine with baseball for the future, right?
I would think so. Yes, I would think so. I'm not not too excited about the talk that continues on about trying to play the college baseball season in the summer.
Yeah.
And that's not just because that would hurt us, but I just don't. They're trying to do it for the northern schools because of the climate, but then the climate is different in the summer here. But I love it as a spring sport. It's just fun to get out and do at that time of the year.
I've got another good question for you, Richard. Out of all 10 years of owning the team, the Cane Cutters in Acadiana, is there one person that made the MLB or made the major leagues that you can look back and say he wore a uniform and make us proud, that he was here in Lafayette playing for the Cane Cutters?
There's been a number of kids that have been drafted, a few that have made it to the show. And really, one of my favorite players has to be Taylor Dugas from Alabama, and he happened to be a local boy as well. And he didn't make it for a long time. He's not a long time major league player, but just what a hard nosed, aggressive player he was, and just they call him dirt bags or whatever you want to call it, but extremely talented and extremely hard nosed kid. He had to be one of my favorites that came through us.
And Taylor was from Turling's Catholic, right?
He was.
Yeah.
And at that time, Lonnie Landry was our coach, and he had played for Lonnie in high school. And of course, we got a lot of support from Mitch Gaspar when he was at Alabama. I mean, Chance Vincent and Kobe Vance and people like that came out of Alabama and came down here and played. So I used to get, back in that day, I'd get 3 or 4 players from Alabama every year. Of course, he's at Louisiana Tech now as an assistant. So we've been able to flip that, and we're able to get some of the Tech boys down. So we're excited for that.
Richard, we're listening to Richard Chalmers, the owner of the Cane Cutters and Acadiana baseball team. And Richard, I want to say this about you. Meeting you a couple of times, going to football games, you've been a big part of the fabric of Lafayette, especially high school, especially Ascension Episcopal. You've supported and you've given a lot of money and time to their baseball field, the original baseball field for Ascension Episcopal. You've done a lot with baseball, and look, just keep doing what you're doing, man, because as we've talked off air, there's a lot of money that you have to take out of your own pocket to make this work, right? I mean, this is for the love of the game.
Well, we do, and unfortunately, during these 10 years we're talking about, we've seen the oil field move up and down, and primarily down. And being an oil and gas community, it's made it more difficult. But some other folks are stepping up, and in other industries, and people are coming out to the park. So it helps. Every bit helps. And I have worked at youth sports. That's kind of been my passion. I just think it's a great thing for kids to grow up playing a team sport, and I think they learn a lot from it, get a lot from it, a lot of life lessons, and that's been my passion. I've been on the Parks and Recreation here over probably 25 years in Lafayette, and it's just, I think it's important to keep these kids busy and keep them focused and keep them working toward a goal. I in no way think it takes the place of your academic career, but I think they can go hand in hand, and I think keeping them busy keeps them out of trouble.
I've got one final question for you before we go. Give me a Texas A&M final record. You don't have to give it to me right away. Football
this year.
Football. 220.
If we play the whole season, this schedule is so much better than last year. I would think I'm going to jump out there and say 10-2.
Okay.
Last year our schedule was brutal. might have been the toughest. And I know other people will argue that, but might have been the toughest. But this schedule's a little better laid out, and we don't play all the number one teams in the country again.
Well,
so
if Kellen Mond has a great year, I think that 10-2 is reachable. He's got to have a good year and progress. And Jimbo's been good at developing quarterbacks. They have a lot of talent coming back. That's for sure. Texas A&M has a lot of talent back on defense and offense. So
they do, but I think that defense was really coming along, and I think that if we see some more progression in the defensive backs, that's what I'm kind of betting on. So I think the offense will be solid. I think that Mon does need to get rid of the ball quicker at times in his recognition, but I think we'll have an experienced line, and we'll have a good running game and some outstanding receivers. So I think this will be a good competitive year for us.
And they have LSU in College Station, so that'll be interesting for you and Lafayette.
That should help, and we'll have. That's always difficult for me. My friends are hounding me, but that should help. And you don't have Joe Burrows anymore, although I think you have a very capable young man coming up. But
Miles Brennan,
but Burrows had just what a year. Of course, he had a lot of talent around him, but still, he had an outstanding year.
Alabama, is that a home or away? Alabama.
I don't have my.
I don't know.
I don't have that set to memory. I'd have to pull it up.
Hopefully, Richard, they have them home.
Yeah, hopefully.
But look, I appreciate you calling in. I hope we helped promote your team, and it's always good to help promote sports programs that doesn't get the attention statewide. And I know that you get a lot of it locally in Lafayette, but I wanted to bring it statewide. And so,
thank you. Thank you, Lee. We joke that we're the best kept secret. So I do appreciate your time and your assistance. It's a great level of baseball. It's entertaining. The environment is entertaining. So the whole family can have a lot. The whole family will be entertained. We've cut down a little bit. We're not having our fun jumps and things like that for the little kids with the COVID, but it's still a lot of fun. On-field promotions are fun, and they need to come on out.
Well, Richard, hope we can improve attendance a little bit there and get the word out a little more. And look, I'll run into you probably at Ascension Episcopal football games, hopefully this fall.
Correct. Hopefully. I would hate to have a season without it.
That's right. We got to have it. So, Richard Chalmers, the owner of the Acadiana Cane Cutters in Lafayette, thank you, and I appreciate everything you do. You're listening to the Sports Scouting Report with Lee Brecheen. We'll be right back.
Parents, are you looking for advice on getting your high school athlete recruited by the right college? Lee Brecheen is your answer. Lee has been doing it for over 30 years. He knows the ropes, and more importantly, he knows the people. Lee offers turnkey service from evaluation, creating highlight tapes in the correct format, and complete guidelines for effective communication with the schools. No matter the sport, girl or boy, no matter what grade your child is in, let Lee Brecheen help match your child to the right college fit. Go to our website, lafootballmagazine.com, and get connected today.
Thanks for listening to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen. If you want to read more on all of the high school and college football teams in the state of Louisiana, go to lafootballmagazine.com to pre-order your North or South Magazine edition for the upcoming 2020 season. Also, don't forget to subscribe to wherever you listen to your podcasts. We hope you enjoy the show, and we will see you on Friday.
Thanks for listening to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen.